Yep.
And so Russia's name as it relates to the Bible is titled Rosh. When we look at the etymology or when we look at the metaphysical symbolism of Rosh, it translates into head or it translates into leader. Okay, and when you keep going, you'll find a definition that translates into beginnings. And so this validates what Nina was saying by saying that there's a new world coming. There's a new beginning that's taking place. Things are changing. Times are changing. And so here we see the Russians almost putting themselves in the position of being the head. And as the head goes, so shall the what? The body follow. And so Russia is reflecting the war that's taking place as it relates to the cosmos. They are in the position of bringing war to this land, or a beginning, a new beginning, okay? And it's still not going to play out in the way that they think is going to play out. And I'm almost done, y'all. As I was continuing into research, both Ezekiel and Daniel, as you go into study, describe the same end time prophecy or the same vision that Ezekiel was telling or dealing with me with as I've been in study all week. Okay, and so what Spirit began showing me, and these are just spiritual predictions. Israel or Ukraine is really going to be, right now we see a smoke and mirror of them being invaded. But the real invasion is going to take place as it relates to Israel out of the north. They're going to be invaded in the north, okay, in the far north. The only description or the only place that describes them being or describes Israel being invaded in the Bible could only be from Russia or Rosh. And so Israel is going to be invaded from the far north, okay? And Russia is the only nation that matches this description of what's happening in Ukraine, aka Israel. Because Ukraine is a mirror, almost a reflective mirror of Israel. They're one and the same. You can look at them. They're one and the same. Okay? The allegiance that we may see Russia take on as it relates to spirits, the downloads that Spirit gave me, the allegiance of the nations that you may see come and help Russia is going to be Moscow, Persia, maybe Ethiopia, Libya, a place called Comer, and Tolgamar. And these places you can also find, or these nations you also find in Ezekiel's vision, okay? What this message is about ultimately is Spirit coming in to say that there is an eradication of the gates of Alexander. The gates of Alexander is Rome. What we're watching is the fall of Rome. And this is the last war that they engage in order for them to shift power.
Yes.
And Spirit is coming in to tell us to get in order and to get out of the way. It's none of your business.
None of your business.
What's happening as it relates to this war. It is your business to put the necessary provisions into place. Know that this war is going to affect every land because it has to. Both Russia, aka Rosh, will fall just as hard as Babylon falls. Because Russia right now is a reflection of Babylon. As we dealt with the Meshach, we dealt with the etymology of Babylon, because everything that we see happening on the outside of us is happening on the inside of us. Meshach dealt with the fall of Babylon during our Code Red lecture that we had. You guys can find it on my personal page. It's a timely message, and I encourage all of you guys to check out that message 222, because it is a clear indication, and it was a sounding of an alarm of what's happening right now. When we look at the metaphysical definition of Babylon, it translates into confusion or mixture, mental confusion. or a chaotic condition. These are times when we find ourselves in the confusion of the sense of consciousness. And its thoughts are so strong that they seem to have us in complete subjugation. So right now, Babylon has us physically in a state of subjugation, but spiritually in a state of confusion and in a state of subjugation. And the divine mother is now coming into place to do what? Bring order into chaos, to remove the confusion, meaning to remove their laws, to remove their history, to remove their doctrine, to remove their music, sound, to remove their ritual, to remove how they make money, to remove their resources, to remove their profiting of the land, to remove their sacrificing of the physical bodies, to remove their infrastructure. Spirit is saying, when you see the world around you collapsing, don't feel like you are losing anything. Because the moment that you feel like you are losing anything, you become Edith in the days of Lot.
Come on, I knew you were going to go there.
Gave the command to Lot to move, to go, to make movement, to leave Sodom and Gomorrah. And as you leave Sodom and Gomorrah, they gave one command: not to look back. Because there would be nothing to go back to. So Spirit is saying that when you see the walls of Jericho fall, when you see the collapsing of Babylon, when you see the confusion be made sense, do not regret it. Do not feel sorry for it. Do not mourn it. Because the minute that you regret it, you become like Edith in the days of Lot. Many of you are asking, who is Edith? That's a problem and an indication that when you go after the things that are not of spirit, not only do you become like a pillar of salt, you become removed from consciousness altogether.